Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for this video being a little bit later. We have the new icon swaps to review today. Apparently the swaps today is pretty nuts. I was watching Twitter a little bit, and some people were reacting and saying that it's actually pretty nice. So yeah, we're going to be taking a look and seeing what each option is going to be. If there's a couple of players that are going to be in here, we're probably going to give them a review if given the opportunity to, because we got to get more coins on this account for me to do them in multiple segments, right? It'd be very easy for me to just get like 3 of them at once, 4 of them at the once, and then just play division rivals. But yeah, we're gonna be taking a look at the icon swaps. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I do feel like people choose the fodder more than they actually choose the moments cards, because I think when people choose moments cards, I feel like they try to go for players that are really full meta, right? And you know, I feel like for the most part, a lot of people tend to kind of just go for the cards that are because this is like a 2-part thing, right? People just tend to go for cards that are fodder because they can do the SBCs and stuff, right? But we're gonna be taking a look at this because I just saw a few very good selections for icon moments, to be honest with you. The first one we have is for one icon swap, where it's an 82 plus times 25, 83 plus times 25, 84 plus times 25. So by default, guys, when it comes to the fodder picks, I do feel like most people are going to be going for this, because when EA releases certain SBCs, especially since we're approaching team of the season time, I do feel like a lot of people will actually go for these things, right? Edwin van der Sar is a goalkeeper that people usually say is very, very good, right? So if you were to collect your 5 icon swaps to get a good goalkeeper, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad choice. I wonder what the price range of the card is now, because when I was opening the icon stuff, I think he was a little bit up there. So he's 615 in price for the Edwin van der Sar card. But cards like this are usually really good because he's 6'6", so he's a tall player. But van der Sar's prime or moments cards usually end up being really good in the meta of the FIFA gameplay. Player traits he has: goalkeeper, long throw, and comes for crosses, which, to be honest, is actually very, very good. Yeah, very, very solid. So for 5 picks, that's not too bad if you want a solid, consistent goalkeeper. 85 plus times 20 is also going to be 5. A 91 attack mid-icon moments pack. Okay, so they're not doing like primes and stuff, which is good, because at least you're getting the moments packs, which is pretty cool. I don't necessarily mind that at all. Kenny Dalglish is the next one. Dalglish, let's see what he looks like. And this is just us, you know, brushing past these cards, because to be honest, they did a really good job with most of the icon moment cards. They gave them some pretty significant upgrades. This one is a weird one, because you can see that there's a difference between the Hawk chemistry style and the Engine chemistry style, right? So if I were to give him the Hawk chemistry style to boost pace, shooting, and physicality as much as possible, the dribbling is in a good area, but it's the average body type that you're probably going to have to work with, maybe, because as you guys know, we checked out the Foot Birthday Avila card at the time, and you know, I gave him an Engine chemistry style, and to be honest with you, the card is fantastic, right? Avila, I think, is a card that's going to hold up in the meta of the game for a while, right? So it just depends. It's something that you're probably going to have to try out for sure. The next one is going to be the Roberto Carlos card. I'm going to put my hat down for now. Roberto Carlos is obviously a left back that looks pretty solid, right? The only thing that's like wrong, or quote unquote wrong, with him was height. But the thing about Roberto Carlos is that the boost that they've been given this card, is quite significant, right? Because cards like this, you know, that are good at attacking and defending, you can use them in different ways, right? So you can actually choose to use him as your left mid, someone that pushes forward and comes back, right? On an anchor chemistry side, he's got great pace, good physical, fantastic defending, shooting stats are there, passing stats are there, dribbling stats are there. I wouldn't necessarily, like, I think he would be a really good left back, to be honest. Would I sacrifice swaps to use him specifically at left back? Probably not. It's always better to have players that are a little bit more tall, physical, you know, go for those interceptions and stuff. But the thing is that this card on an anchor actually does have good physical capabilities. But I will always say that the height is definitely a very important thing when it comes to meta in FIFA. 93 plus icon moments pack. George Best for the next one. George Best, they changed the work rates of this card. He's still a medium. Was he a medium before, or a medium low? Let me see. So the card before was a medium. Which one was the one that I reviewed? I think it was the 90, right, guys? Yeah, I think it was the 90 because I think he was an SBC in the beginning of the year. The video has like 70K views or something. It was like one of those ones. I do feel like his medium low is really good. It was like a very similar situation to the Garincha card, right? Like medium low when done properly is actually really sick. Yeah, so you can see that Garincha's card is medium low too. I reviewed one of his cards as well. I have his moments I'll probably be putting up at some point. But yeah, this difference of work rate, it just depends, man. Like you actually have to try that out because if it moves anything like a flashback Murata, then I feel like you're looking pretty good because he is a person with a lean body type with really good dribbling stats, like fantastic dribbling stats. And then you give him a Hawk, you're essentially working with perfect shooting and stuff. Dribbling would probably be really solid on the card. He even has 89 stamina, so if you wanted to use him in those side positions, if the medium is not that good through the middle, you could totally do that. But it is a 4-star player, which might throw off some people, right? In regards to like having like a crazy special thing. Next up is 91 plus icon moments player pick. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this one is probably the one that's like the least obvious to choose, which I think is fantastic. I like when this is not as obvious. Samuel Eto'o, I've heard very 50-50 things about. Maybe they just don't really format the card that well. That could be like one of the potential things that I'm looking at with him. Because with Samuel Eto'o, guys, it's a weird situation with him because the way that he's formatted on this card, if you give him an engine, which I feel like is an obvious choice for him, regardless of the fact that he has a lean body type, the shooting stats, it's in a good area. I'm not going to say it's not in a good area, but I feel like when you go for these types of shots, I mean, these types of players, you want it to be higher, I would say. But the thing is, though, is that he does have really good shooting traits. He's a 4-star player, lean body type, but he has a high-low work rate, right? The high-low work rate's a very big deal with fantastic passing, good physical capabilities, right? But yeah, the engine chemistry style with the shooting for the amount of swaps that you have to get, that's like the main thing that we're going to be looking at, right? 94 plus icon moments pack again, Lothar Matthäus. To be honest with you guys, I do feel like Lothar would be a sick player. I think he would be really good. Cards like this, guys, ignore the skill moves because honestly, it's not that crazy important, right? But Lothar Matthäus, the only thing that's like throwing me off is height because I always like to have like the taller players. But at the same time, with him being 5'9" with a crazy attacking presence, right? In-game player traits, he has outside foot shot trait, which is always really nice. But look at his in-game attributes, right? So shot power and long shots is already really high, right? And then a card like this, you would probably be able to give an anchor or an engine to as well, right? This card is 1.9 mil. So yeah, I gotta see if I can get some coins on this account. Engine chemistry style, right? You boost the dribbling by quite a bit. The pace is gonna be in a very good area because acceleration is high considering the fact that he's 5'9", average body type with a 4-star weak foot. And then he actually has good base defensive capabilities at a high defensive work rate with really good physical stuff too in regards to aggression, because aggression is very important when you're a smaller player. It's an important stat in general, but when you're small, you definitely notice that aggressiveness out of the cards because it's aggression with the acceleration being really high too. It's either that, or if you don't care about his dribbling being the way that it is as a midfielder, you obviously give him an anchor to make him as good as possible defensively, give him that extra pace, right? You can see that most people are choosing between the two chemistry styles for the most part. The next one that we have here is gonna be 93 icon moments player pick. Player pick is really fun, and it's one of 3. Sorry guys, yeah, so it's one of 3. Exchange 15 icon swaps, 3 tokens to earn one of 3 icon moments players rated 93 overall or higher. 93 overall or higher. So what is 93 overall or higher for icon moments? Let's take a look. If we go to versions, because guys, like I said, most of the icon moment cards that they've created are pretty decent. Like, I'm not going to say that they're not. Minimum rating has to be 93 plus. So 93, filter by rating. I want to see like I want to see more of the bad ones, right? So Raul, I don't like Raul. Ronald Koeman, I wouldn't be happy with either. A few of these other cards are usable, but I feel like most people, like, here's the thing, right? This is always going to be like a gamble with these types of cards because I feel like most people are going to want to choose players that are going to be good for the meta of the game for a while, right? So that's why I feel like people sometimes avoid these types of SBCs because they kind of want to guarantee getting a meta card, especially if they're grinding it for 2 different parts, right? So that's like the main thing that I am looking at here. And then we have an icon moments player pick in general to earn one of 5 icon moment players. So you have a player pick that gives you 5 different options. Attack mid icon Rude Hullet. So the thing is that I know that Rude Hullet is a very good card. Would I go for his card after 2 seasons for the prime version of it? I feel like it'd be kind of boring personally, right? That's going to be down to the person, I do believe. 93 plus attack mid icon moments player pick for an attacker, a midfielder. Attacker or midfielder for that one. So positions, we'll go with the midfielders. Positions, we'll go with the attackers. The top ones are nice. I don't like to look at the top ones. Oh, this one is what? 93 plus. Stoichkov, Buchigueño. And then how much is it? It's a player pick. It's a player pick of 1 of 3. 1 of 3. I mean, listen, you can get really unlucky and get Gary Lineker, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Stoichkov, and then that probably wouldn't be worth the 2 seasons. Raul's not that good. Thierry Henry's actually pretty decent in this year's game. He just got to work with dribbling. It's the first year I actually liked using his card. Marco van Basten wouldn't be great. But the rest of them would be pretty solid, to be fair. And it's 1 of 3 selections, so that's definitely a gamble as well, which is what it is for the most part. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys, okay? So I personally did I forgot what it was the last season. It was like the 92 plus icon moments or prime pack, and I got Bobby Moore from it. So it seemed like doing the full thing didn't really seem like it was worth it, right? I could have collected fodder to complete SBCs. I could have got some guaranteed cards, like Lothar Matthäus looks really solid, to be honest. Whether he's solid for 2 parts of the season is really down to the person, because it's 2 months, right? You can see it at the bottom when it actually expires. Yeah, Samuel Eto'o, I would probably go away from Samuel Eto'o. Like, I feel like he's good, but I probably wouldn't select him myself. George Best, the medium is not a guarantee, so I'd have to try that out too, but he's also a 4-star. Roberto Carlos is good. It doesn't have height. Kenny Dalglish is formatted weirdly. This is me being very nitpicky for specific player selections. You know what I'm saying? For specific player selections, this is where I'm being nitpicky. Edwin van der Sar, I don't think would be a bad choice if you want a guaranteed good goalkeeper. Or I think he's a guaranteed good goalkeeper. We would have to see if I can fit him in a team where I can review somebody else, because that's going to be like the important thing to test out for the goalkeepers. Yeah, with Edwin van der Sar, Kenny Dalglish, Roberto Carlos. So I think that in total you get 9 and 9, right? So let me see what the things are right now for the objectives. Let's take a look. I'm going to auto-claim those rewards. Thank you very much, sir. Back to objectives. Okay, so let's see what we're working with here. So icon swaps, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's 9 and 9, I'm assuming. 9 and 9 for this. 13 matches, squad battles. Squad battles is just a pain. 6 matches in the LIFO Friendly 1 league with at least 8 owned Serie A players in your starting squad. Score a finesse goal in 6 separates. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see, guys. Let's see. I'm definitely gonna be doing a review for all these cards and saying whether or not they're worth it for like individual swaps and stuff. That was a LOM card right there. That was kind of weird. 85 plus attack mid icon. The pack one I would never do. I would never do the pack one. I risked it for my account and I will never do that again. You can maybe get something good. It's always going to be a gamble with those ones for sure. Pack I wouldn't do. Player pick is definitely an option if you really want to full send it for sure. 91 plus is very, very dangerous though. I like the 1 of 5 option. Which one is the 1 of 5 option? To earn a pack with an icon one's player pick. 1 of 5. I don't mind this one. But you could get really unlucky and they're just like all really bad, to be fair. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a possibility. Like, it's definitely a possibility, especially grinding for 2 months while team of the season is out. That's the key thing here, right? That is going to be the key thing here. I don't know how many people are going to go for Ruud Gullit. I think Ruud Gullit's really nice, but I don't know how many people are going to go for him, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, that one's a weird one, I would say. But 5-star, weak foot, high, medium, it adds like a nice variable to your team. But you would have to give him a shadow, and then probably the dribbling is a little bit weird. I'm just thinking ahead because of team of the season. Like, that's like the main thing. I think for me, guys, if it was like specific player ones, like Lothar Matthäus, I don't think would be a bad one, but I do feel like height is very important. But it could just be like using like an Awar in that situation, right? It's someone who has the high work rate that actually pushes forward sometimes. Roberto Carlos is short, but if you play 3-5-2, would be very nice there. Kenny Dalglish, maybe not so much. And I'm not saying that these cards are bad. They're not bad. I'm just saying like whether or not it's worth the swaps. Van der Sar for 5, I'm not against. I'm not against Van der Sar for 5 for like a guaranteed goalkeeper, but I do need to see what he's like. Yeah, I do need to see what he's like. 82 plus, 83 plus, 84 plus. Sorry. I always press the wrong buttons because I'm dumb. Okay, to be honest with you guys, especially with like flashback SBCs that they sometimes release for team of the season, I would probably go with fodder. 1, 3, 6. So that leaves you with 13 left. 13 goes up to what? 13 goes up to 1 of 3, 1 of 5. So you can get a pack. No. Player pick. I like the 1 of 5 option. I just think that the selections that you're most likely going to get, you may not want during those time periods of the game. Like, you're going to have to get a really good meta card because they're going to release some decent team of the seasons, especially for this year's game. 17 icon swaps tokens to earn 1 of 3 moments. 1 of 3 is not bad for 93 overall rating, but there are some selections that are really bad that I've seen. Yeah, there's some selections that are really bad. I think if it was up to me, I would probably, like, a guaranteed Matthäus card would not be bad, because then you can, you know what you can do with that? You can get 2 and 3, right? Yeah, I think most people would actually go for that, to be honest. So it's either like 2-3 for getting fodder to do SBCs and then getting like a good midfielder with Matthäus. That, because here's the thing, right? This card, guys, is a player that can play in any midfield position, because he can actually play as a left mid, right mid if you really want him to. It's definitely a possibility, you know? You would just give him an engine chemistry style and he would be pretty solid in those areas, I feel like. If you wanted to do that, you know, it's definitely like a possibility that you can do for sure. But yeah, I think that most people would probably go with option 2 and 3 so that it's 5, and then you have 14 left. And then with 14 left, they would probably get someone like Matthäus. Like, that wouldn't be, I wouldn't be against that option. It's either that, or I would full send a 16 with the 5 options, right? You get 5 different options for your player pick, and then you get fodder for the 3. I could be doing the numbers wrong here because I'm being stupid right now. I'm thinking of other things, right? But you could do a 3, 16, 3, 16, 19. So that's definitely one option too. You could totally go with a Van der Sar as well at a 5. And then you have a 14 left. And if you want like guaranteed players, you can get Lothar Matthäus too. So it just depends on what type of chemistry links that you go with, right? The thing is though, guys, is that like I just wouldn't recommend the pack ones. Like, you could get something good from it, don't get me wrong, but the player pick ones, when it's like 1 of 3, 1 of 5, those usually end up being the better options, especially since it's like moments cards. But is it worth it for 2 different seasons? Is a different situation. I could totally see people going for George Best at a 9 for a player that they want right now, right? So that's a card that I'm probably going to review today because people are definitely going to be interested in that, I think. Yeah, I have to see if anybody has them either. Like, we'll see what the vibes are with that. But 9 for that. 9 for that, and then you have an icon ones pack I would not go with. And that's 11, right? Okay, so you wouldn't be able to get George Best and a player pick. It'd be George Best and then fodder, I think, for the most part. Yeah, or George Best and you're getting it. Yeah, so George Best would be 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 1. You could totally do 1, 3 to 4, and then a 5 for the 85 plus as well, and then get George Best. Yeah, you could do that too, actually. So you can get fodder during an important part of team of the season, right? But you know what I would do, guys? I would hold on to your swaps and see which card you really, really want, because it just depends on the SBCs that they release. But yeah, I just don't think people are going to go for the individual players as much, because to be honest, like, I kind of understand their base mechanics a little bit, and whether or not they're worth all of those swaps is like a completely different situation, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think that's like a different situation. Icon moments, Matthäus. 14. Yeah, so I would go with Matthäus at a 14, and then 5 swaps using fodder. That would definitely be an option. George Best you can get right now for the first part of the season, and then the second part of the season you can get fodder. That's another great option. You could do a full send and go for the 1 of 5 options, right? The 1 of 5 moments players, because like I said, 80% of them are actually pretty sick. So you can definitely do that. 1 of 5 is definitely an option as well, because if you get 16, then you can also get fodder packs as well. Rude Hullet, if you want a guaranteed player, sure, but that dribbling is like throws me off a little bit. He's probably still a very good player in the midfield, because it's the tall, physical guys that usually end up making that that difference. But yeah, I think this icon swap season is a very, very good one. I'm definitely very happy with what they released. There's no obvious choice, I don't think. Let me know what you guys are going to be selecting down below in the comments section to let me know what you guys are actually going to go end up with. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys. We'll see if we can do the reviews for the individual players.